Welcome back. Former US President Donald Trump narrowly escaped death after a shooter opened fire at his election rally yesterday India time. The 78-year-old former president was rushed off stage with blood smeared across his face after the shooting in Pennsylvania, while the gunman and a bystander were killed and two spectators critically injured. Chaos ensued 6 minutes into his speech when shots were heard and he was seen clutching his bloodied ear, even as US Secret Service officers surrounded him initially and then escorted him off the stage. The image of Trump holding his fist in the air while mouthing words "fight" repeatedly will be remembered come election day in US in November. The FBI has identified the shooter as Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old who is believed to have acted alone. Trump is now in Milwaukee, where the Republican National Convention will get underway in a bit from now. In one of his first interviews since the incident, he said he felt he had been saved by luck or by God. "I'm supposed to be dead. I'm supposed to not be here," he said. Now, comments made during election campaigns have often triggered political fireworks. But is this political vitriol to blame for what happened in the US and to Donald Trump? Some are calling him the most maligned political figure in history. Now, there's a parallel to be drawn in India. The BJP feels that Narendra Modi has been the most maligned political figure in India since 2002. And despite his record as PM for 10 years, some of that vitriol hasn't changed. Here are some of the instances why this parallel is being drawn by the BJP. Now, Joe Biden had remarked that Donald Trump's assault on democracy isn't just part of his past, it's what he's promising for the future. These are one of his latest statements. Back home, Rahul Gandhi had made a similar pitch when he said that RSS and BJP are trying to finish the constitution and the democratic setup. In fact, the entire last general election was fought entirely on democracy and constitution. US President Joe Biden once said Donald Trump represented an extremism that threatens the very foundation of our republic. Similar stance or statement was made by Rahul Gandhi on PM Modi when he blamed the ideologies of RSS and BJP for spreading violence and hatred in the country. Joe Biden has on multiple occasions, and others from the democratic ecosystem, have called Donald Trump a dictator. Similar statements have been made. A veiled jibe by Rahul Gandhi where he said that a scared dictator wants a dead democracy. So are these examples of the left ecosystem's vitriol against what is generally referred to as the right rightly being called out? And are the parallels that are being drawn at home with Modi valid? That's coming up.
Take a look at what happened.
ये जो नरेंद्र मोदी अभी भाषण दे रहा है, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, 6 महीने बाद, 7-8 महीने बाद ये घर से नहीं निकल पाएगा। हिंदुस्तान के युवा इसको ऐसा डंडा मारेंगे, इसको समझा देंगे।
वो गुजरात समझ रहा 4% मुसलमान है गुजरात में, यहाँ 42% मुसलमान है, यहाँ गुजरात बना दे, चोटी काट देंगे, इतनी चोटी काट देंगे।
So are the parallels at home valid? Is there a section that is just too used to and has gotten away with dehumanizing an entirely different section of political ideologies while also claiming to be liberal simultaneously? I'll take that question to our guests joining us. Guru Prakash Paswan continues to be with us from the BJP, Arshpreet Kadial of the Congress joining us, Tushar Gupta, senior journalist, and Sanjeev Srivastava, senior journalist, also with us. So Arshpreet, let me begin with you because fingers are being pointed out at the Congress party's ecosystem, and particularly some of the statements that Rahul Gandhi has made in the past. Fingers are also being pointed out to, for example, what happened in Punjab under the Congress government during the Prime Minister's visit and the compromise of his security arrangement. What do you make of it?
Number one, what Amit Malviya, the Bharatiya Janata Party's leader, has said is that the motive, he has basically ascertained the motive behind the assassination attempt when the FBI is still trying to ascertain what the motive was, and the FBI is saying that the investigation is early. And second of all, the Bharatiya Janata Party should be ashamed for having indulged into politics on such a sensitive issue, and at least leave this out of politics. For once, the Bharatiya Janata Party would have simply been sympathetic with Donald Trump. But the Bharatiya Janata Party does what it does best, did politics on this as well. I'll tell you what the facts are. The facts are that on July 7th, in Uddham Singh Nagar, there was this incident that happened with two Bharatiya Janata Party's workers had threatened Rahul Gandhi and abused Rahul Gandhi, and they even said that Rahul Gandhi would be killed, and they were booked for that by the Uddham Singh Nagar police. Second incident happened on the 9th of July, where a Bharatiya Janata Party's MLA in Karnataka said if Mr. Gandhi comes to Mangaluru, he would be attacked, and he also said that Rahul Gandhi should be locked up and he should be slapped in the parliament. And Mr. Modi, during elections, when he said, "Ghuspaitiye gusse hue hain, jinke bacche zyada hote hain," what are the consequences to that? And as far as the facts go, the Bharatiya Janata Party, if they had scored 400 plus seats, they would have done away with the constitution. They would have done away with the reservation. They would have done away with the elections.
Well, I can't quite debate on hypotheticals, but I'll take your examples of how it is a hypothetical, Ashpreet. It's classic hypothetical.
You would have seen it become a fact had they have scored 400.
That's exactly what a hypothetical is.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
No, one second. You've had your time. You've had your time. Let me go across to Guru Prakash Paswan. The reality is that while you may blame some statements made against Narendra Modi, there's no denying that since 2002, there have been very high-profile leaders of the Congress party and others who've made very vitriolic statements, and just, the whole sentiment that somehow one person is a danger to you, one person is a danger to the Indian democracy, one person is a danger to the Indian democratic setup or republic or your freedoms. That is the very stale narrative of, broadly speaking, the left liberal ecosystem. We know that. But it's not as if BJP or the right in India does not make vitriolic statements.
No, Shivani, I think you have drawn a very fundamental distinction between what is reality and what is hypothesis. Shivani, I come from Bihar, and what is reality is constitution was murdered on the day of emergency. And in Bihar, there's a very renowned poet, traditional poet called Baba Nagarjun. Baba Nagarjun wrote this poem, इंदू क्या हो गया आपको सत्ता की नशा में क्या भूल गई बाप को. So I think that is truth, that is reality when constitution was actually murdered, and this fear psychosis, this fear hypothesis must be avoided by. Second point, Shivani.
No, but individual statements against, let's say, leaders of opposition, like Ashpreet pointed out, certain statements against Rahul Gandhi, they have also been made.
Shivani, you have given him time uninterrupted. Yes. I request you for similar courtesy. Thank you so much, Shivani. No, I agree with you. Safety of every single leader, BJP, Congress, any other political party, must not be compromised with. Every single person, every single politician, it's very important for the democracy, it's very important for the constitution in India. But you must understand that there is a cabal. There is a breaking India force cabal, both within India and outside India. Constantly, Modi teri kabr khudegi. The same words by senior Congress leaders. We still remember from the aircraft, it was said not by one leader but the entire Congress party top leadership. Are you not inciting violence? What are you suggesting? Are you suggesting non-violence? Are you suggesting peace? Constantly, the Congress leader from Nagpur, इनके हाथ काट के दे दो मैं आपको इनाम दूंगा. What do you expect? The fact of the matter is that there is a section within the elite establishment who have yet not digested the fact that Adivasi ki beti has reached the highest constitutional office in the country. Okay. They have yet not digested, last 10 seconds, they have yet not digested the fact that a Chaiwala has become one of the most powerful prime minister of this country. So constantly they do this. They incite violence because they cannot. It comes from their feudal mindset. It comes from their elitist, arrogant mindset, and they cannot accept it.
Sanjeev, I won't go to the extent of saying that the statements incite violence, although specific such cases can be counted on all sides, where statements can incite violence or encourage people to take law into their hands. I bring to your attention, for example, when recently somebody threw a shoe at Narendra Modi after the election results when he was on a visit in Varanasi, his constituency. Rahul Gandhi himself brought it up and said that you saw the other day someone in Varanasi threw a chappal at his car. It's very clear the basic concept of Modi has been destroyed in this election. No one is scared of Narendra Modi anymore. Now, as leader of opposition, you could argue he shouldn't be encouraging this behavior. It could tomorrow lead to a far more serious intervention by some lunatic. But the issue is about dehumanizing one section. And I think this charge is a long-standing one predating the assassination bid on Donald Trump, where exactly the people who claim to be liberal are most illiberal about accepting divergent views. The RSS, for example, the demonization and dehumanization of the RSS or anybody who is from the RSS. Recently, Mallikarjun Kharge said, you've got people from the RSS sitting on positions of importance, as if somehow they are barred by law.
So, Shivani, this can be a very long debate, and you have arguments on both sides. And I'll begin by saying that there is absolutely no doubt that since 2002, Mr. Modi has been one of the most attacked in the most vicious manner. He has been reviled, he's been abused, he has been hated, and he is taking it on the chin. And this is part of the politics, this right versus left ecosystem. The second point I'd like to make is that one of my earlier editors, when I just joined BBC, Mark Tully used to be the India correspondent, and he always used to say that if there is something more dangerous than a fundamentalist, and by that he meant the right, is a secular fundamentalist or a liberal fundamentalist. So this fundamentalism of thought and idea and ideology is really very rigid on both sides. And we can't blame one more than the other just because Donald Trump has been attacked. So left ecosystem is more fundamentalist or right is less. You can keep on giving examples. But what I find also is that while it should be condemned, while even Rahul Gandhi, while I take that statement about throwing a sandal or a chappal more like a political thing, there have been ink thrown, sandals thrown, eggs thrown. Everything has been thrown on all kinds of leaders, including prime ministers in India. People have been shot dead, 2 prime ministers. So how much of a do and try can we really make about a chappal being thrown somewhere? It's unfortunate, it should not be encouraged, but that's part of the politics in a democracy. Sometimes it happens, and the opposition cannot be chided or said that they should have criticized the person who threw a chappal. Okay, so let's take it in our stride. The last point I really want to make is that something has happened in the US. Yes, Donald Trump is a conservative, seen as a right-leaning figure, and the Democrats are more left and liberal. But to stretch that argument here and suddenly start thinking that, okay, so everybody is after Mr. Modi's life, or there is a threat to him, or there is this atmosphere being created. I think Rahul Gandhi has been equally abused, equally a hate figure. He has been mocked, abused, humiliated in all sorts of manner for the last 10, 12 years. So this is, I think, tali dono haath se basti hai na. Either everybody learns or nobody learns.
Yeah, but don't you think that there is indeed, if you look at it, in fact, I read out some of those statements, there is indeed a strain of commonality that goes through these statements that, how the left ecosystem will build the entire election on democracy and democratic values and somehow being a better human being versus worse human beings. That is almost exactly what played out. Is there a global script, as they say, Sanjeev Srivastava, some toolkit being written?
Well, there may be toolkits being written, and I have a really loud disclaimer. I am no left supporter. I really find the left ecosystem also very dangerous and very rigid and very, very fundamentalist and non-inclusive in their approach. If you're not agreeable to them, my problem in life has been that I have been not accepted by any of the thinkers, because I'm a centrist and I kind of go issue by issue. Some things I like in Modi, some things I don't like, some things I like in Rahul and Congress, some things I don't like. So the issue is the whole polity has become like this, that either you are with them or against them.
Yeah, no,
So
absolutely. So the question that I'm trying to ask is this, Tushar Gupta. It's not so much that one is better than the other. Who claims to be better than the other? That is the problem, Tushar. Who claims that they are holier than thou? And somehow what they are fighting for is some divine, fight for the right, while everybody else, is just, deserves to be, taken care of in that many words. So that is the point. And I think that is the fundamental fight between the narratives, between the two sides as well, that there are good and bad in every side. But which is that side that claims to have holier than thou position or the moral high ground? That is always the left.
Oh, absolutely, Shivani. You summed it up so well. The global left has a simple script, that of fear psychosis. When they are in the opposition, they'll play the victim card saying they're being traumatized by the ruling party. When they are the ruling party, like in the US right now, they'll say that the opposition is playing the victim card and we are the real victims here. We need to save democracy. We need to save the people across the country. That is the script they use. They use that fear psychosis script globally. They'll pretend that they are the saviors of humanity. They are the saviors of democracy. They'll be saving your fundamental rights. It's a global script. Nothing has changed between the US or India or any other European nation for that matter. I'll give you an example. Look before the elections. The messaging from the Congress was, we are here to give you your money back. We are going to ensure you have your money. Post-elections, what has happened? There are people queuing up outside the Congress office saying that these are the guarantee cards you gave us. Where is the money? There are people in Karnataka asking that a year ago you were telling us that free bus rides are meant to empower us. They're meant to improve our economic position. Why are you hiking the fares right now? So, every time there is an election, the global left script is, oh, we are the victims. Oh, we need to save you. You need to be saved. You need to vote for us to be saved, or your future is doomed. Your children are doomed.
It's not just that. Actually, the thing that irks many is the virtue signaling. As if you are virtuous versus everybody else who has no virtue or no good standards at all.
Absolutely.
I think that's what's the most irking aspect of some of the left liberal narrative nonsense.
Sorry.
Absolutely. I'll give you another example. What Rahul Gandhi said about the Varanasi security breach. He said Varanasi में वो चप्पल मार दी किसी ने. अब आप imagine कीजिए चुनाव से पहले कोई उनको मारना भी चाहता डरता. तो वो डर था जो वो गायब हो गया, खत्म हो गया. This is how he ridicules the security breach of the Prime Minister. It's not about what has been thrown or what has been not. It's a security breach. It's a serious affair. We have lost 2 of our former Prime Ministers to such assassination attempt. One would accept that the leader of the left would behave responsibly, but no, they would ridicule. And then they will say, oh, look, they abuse us, they mock us, they ridicule us, we are the victims. This consistent habit of playing victim while attaining peak narcissism and creating a fear psychosis amongst the voters, that is the global script that the left works with, be it the Democrats, be it the Congress in India.
Yes, Sanjeev wanted to come in very quickly, then I'll go back across to Arshpreet as well.
Shivani, I just want to say, again, you clap with both hands. So yes, left has this issue of taking the high moral ground and saying that democracy can only be saved with the right and Mr. Modi is defeated. But frankly, there is an equal moral high ground or whatever high ground on the other side. If you're
Which
not
one? The right has not been given any moral high ground. Sanjeev, point out one moral high ground that the right can quote. Point out one.
Yeah. No, if you are not with them, you are not a Hindu, proper Hindu. If you're not with them, you're a traitor. Goli maro salon ko, desh ke gaddaron ko, all that stuff. So the thing is that this is the sad part of Indian politics. The way it has degenerated in the last decade and a half, which we are all witness to.
No, I think that this is not about the last decade and a half. Maybe it has intensified a little bit, especially with the advent of social media, because only one side had a voice earlier. Now literally everybody has a voice and it's in utter chaos. But sometimes chaos is good and more free than not. Leaving that aside, I think since the end of the World War II, left liberalism has had virtually a free run. But actually, if you go out on the streets today and ask, are we in a better world than before? It is the left liberals who will say, no, the world is worse today. And then you wonder, why is it worse today if you've been ruling for so long? And the right has only kind of reared its head in few places here and there, maybe in Europe somewhere, maybe somewhere else. In India, I don't believe the right is the same right that exists in Europe and US, so it's not an exact comparison. But if we were to take the BJP and the RSS as the right. Yes, Guru Prakash Paswan wanted to come in. Very quickly, then Ashpreet, the last word.
No, I think, Shivani, I disagree with you when you say that BJP is right. I don't think, as an official spokesperson, in my all capacity, I can say that we are not right, but we are certainly non-left.
Yeah, and sure. I get that.
The biggest oxymoron of this century is left and liberal. I think you do a basic cursory reading of our history and you would realize that all the violent atrocities in the course of our history has happened at the leftist and the communist regime. Stalin and Mussolini, they were not non-leftist. So I think we should put a rest
Hitler
on this.
would fall in the right.
It's a settled. So I think it's a settled debate that left and liberal, it's oxymoron, and you cannot associate right label with the BJP and the RSS in India.
No, I get that. I said that
context.
It's not an exact comparison, but the right is generally very vilified because somehow, just by calling someone the right, right of politics, it almost demeans them. It is used, like Marine Le Pen, for example, is saying this in France. How have you categorized me as the right?
Exactly.
It's used as a derogatory word. Ashpreet, unfortunately, I have limited time. I'll give you 20 seconds.
Thank you. The democracy was murdered by the Bharatiya Janata Party in the Chandigarh mayor poll, said the Supreme Court, not the opposition. The constitution was murdered time and again by the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Emergency.
One by one, only one.
Or every time they did an Operation Lotus, there was the murder of constitution that took place. Every time they misused the agency during elections, the murder of constitution took place. Every time the chief ministers were targeted, the murder of constitution took place. I just say one thing: the Bharatiya Janata Party reaching on to introspect. The Bharatiya Janata Party,
just
one person.
Videshi taakto ka mora, said the BJP leader. देश के गद्दारों को, said the Bharatiya Janata Party's leader, calling our leaders Saddam, calling our leaders Diane and whatnot. We all know how the Bharatiya Janata Party...
Okay, I've run out of time. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Let's see how this plays out. But of course, the real ramifications will be in the US ahead of the presidential elections. Thanks a lot for watching. Rahul Shivshankar is coming up with the hard facts.